Hello and welcome to the Luv Doc podcast with hosts Waldo Wachewski and Ophelia Bruschi.
We're plunging into some pretty fascinating topics today, trying to pull out the knowledge you need for life's, trickier situations. And today's mission, we're tackling something I think a lot of us have bumped up against. What do you actually do when your good friend's partner is, let's just say, less than ideal?
Right. Not great.
We're diving into this really candid, pretty unvarnished exchange from the Luv Doc. And the response to this one reader was, well, definitely not what you'd call conventional.
No, definitely not. And look, this isn't really about finding a simple, do this, don't do that kind of answer.
Right.
It's more about offering a, let's say, provocative way to think about it. A framework for managing these really complex relationships. We're trying to move beyond the usual advice.
Like the standard stuff.
Exactly. And explore some genuine practical strategies. It's really about self-preservation within your friendships, recognizing the dynamics, and honestly, protecting your own peace.
And that's so key, isn't it? Because the Luv Doc basically says almost everyone has those kind of friends. You know the ones, they make you maybe question your own judgment sometimes, or at least you're sitting there wondering, how did they end up with that person?
Totally. We've all been there, I think.
So the Luv Doc just dives headfirst into this universal dilemma. And their take is, surprisingly deep, but also, I have to say, kind of funny in a dark way. Let's unpack it.
Okay.
So it starts with this letter. Let's call the writer soon-to-be ex-friend.
Okay. Catchy.
Right. And they write to the Luv Doc just expressing complete frustration, utter frustration, with their best friend's husband. And get this, the friend has known this guy for over 10 years.
Wow. Okay, so this isn't new.
Not at all. Met after college, moved in together super quick, like 6 months. And the letter writer, she was living across the country back then, but she was getting calls like 2 or 3 times a week. Yeah, with her friend just crying because the husband or boyfriend then would tell her she was overweight or too flirty or, talk too much. Just constant criticism.
Oof, that's rough. And what's really striking, I think, is the pattern described in the letter. The cycle.
Yeah, it's a cycle.
Breakups, moving out, but then just a few months later, back together again.
Right. And the letter writer admits, she said some pretty mean things about him at the start.
Understandable, maybe.
Totally. But eventually she kind of backed off. Decided, okay, it's her friend's choice, her life. And then fast forward 2 years ago, after they had moved back in together for the fourth time.
The fourth time?
Fourth time, the friend announces they're getting married.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the pattern continues. It just escalates.
Exactly. And the letter then shifts to what's happening after the wedding. And this is where the conflict really, really heats up for the letter writer. Soon-to-be ex-friend says, look, ever since the marriage, I've been nothing but nice to this guy. Trying hard. But he's just rude back. Dismissive. Sometimes, outright insulting towards her, the friend.
Towards the letter writer.
Yeah, towards the letter writer. And when she tries to bring this up with her best friend, what happens?
Let me guess. Defensiveness.
Bingo. The friend gets super defensive, and this has clearly made the letter writer really question everything, like her friend's judgment, obviously, but also her own position. Should she even be friends with someone who lets their partner treat her friend like this, who won't even acknowledge the disrespect?
And that just perfectly sets up the core question, doesn't it? What do we do? What do you do when a really significant relationship in your friend's life starts directly impacting your own well-being, your own sense of respect?
Yeah.
And the Luv Doc's first reaction, which they admit quite candidly, is basically, go to war.
Yeah. Burn down your friendship like a scorched earth campaign. That's the quote.
Such vivid imagery.
Isn't it? But then, almost in the same breath, the Luv Doc calls that idea stupid.
This pulls back immediately.
And explains why. Because it's exactly the kind of advice you'd expect from someone pushing for an insanely disproportionate response.
Like using a nuke for a neighborhood squabble, as they put it.
Exactly that analogy. They point out, look, if everyone went nuclear on their friends just because of, and this is another quote, decades-long patterns of emotionally dysfunctional behavior.
Which, let's be honest, is probably more common than we think.
Right. Then nobody would have any friends left.
Yeah, it's a fair point.
Holy crap. You're psychotically obsessed with the Luv Doc, but can't think of a flashy gauche way to share your obsession with the world? Stop thinking and make a beeline for the Luv Doc's home sweet home on the interwebs, thepleasurecraft.com, where you can find a veritable treasure trove of sick merch that will make even your coolest friends super gel. Honestly, I don't know why you didn't already think of this yourself, but you're welcome. Have fun on the Pleasure Craft. It was made just for you. Let me spell it out for you one more time. www.thepleasurecraft.com.
And if we kind of connect this to the bigger psychological picture, it touches on something really important about personal boundaries.
Okay.
The Luv Doc is implicitly arguing against what therapists might call enmeshment. Where you get so tangled up in someone else's life, you start taking on their emotional burdens, their relationship choices as your own responsibility.
I see. So don't make their drama your drama.
Essentially, while the Luv Doc acknowledges some people might lose friends this way, they suggest people would still have certain kinds of friends.
Okay, what kinds?
Well, maybe not the ones that make you feel like superior by comparison, or the ones who just provide hilariously salacious anecdotes at cocktail parties.
Yeah, the ones where people listening then ask.
And why are you friends with this person again? Exactly.
Oh, we definitely all know those friends. The ones whose drama just seems to stick to them like a shadow.
And the Luv Doc just owns this universal truth. Straight up says, some difficult friendships, some problematic friends, they're just an inevitable part of life.
Right. Can't avoid them all.
And they dismiss the extreme options, right?
Yep.
Like completely isolating these friends, or the opposite, like throwing yourself on the grenade for them.
Yeah.
Calls that a personal growth strategy I wouldn't wish on anybody.
Good point. Martyrdom isn't the answer either.
So what's really fascinating, I think, is this direct acknowledgement that these problematic friends are, in a way, unavoidable. So the question isn't how do we get rid of them? It shifts. It becomes how do we manage them? How do we deal? It's not about changing your friend or trying to change their partner. It's about changing your response, your actions.
Okay, so this brings us to the practical bit. What does this actually mean for you, the listener, dealing with these unavoidable friends and their difficult partners? The Luv Doc's advice is surprisingly simple. Almost deceptively so. You have to start by being really clear. Communicate the behavior you are willing to accept when you have to interact with your friend's husband or partner.
Okay, step one, clear communication about acceptable behavior.
Exactly. And then this is critical. You follow that up by clearly outlining the consequences if he behaves otherwise.
Consequences, okay, like what?
Well, the primary consequence, the Luv Doc says, should be for you. It's that you will remove yourself from his presence.
Okay. Not trying to punish him, but protecting yourself.
Precisely. And significantly, this might mean removing yourself from your friend's presence, too, if the partner is there and acting out, if the situation calls for it.
Right. Because you can't always separate them.
No. And the Luv Doc really emphasizes you don't need to demand your friend divorce her dickhead husband. That's not your job.
That's a powerful shift, isn't it? It puts the control entirely back with you. It's about your well-being, your boundaries, not trying to fix someone else's messy relationship.
Exactly. And this is where the Luv Doc just cuts through all the usual hand-wringing. They distill it right down to this. In other words, if shit starts going bad, just leave.
Wow. Blunt.
Super blunt. He's not your husband, and he's definitely not your friend.
Yeah.
Why is that so profound, maybe? Because it's just this radical act of self-preservation.
Yeah, it frees you up.
Totally frees you from all that emotional labor of trying to change him or even trying to change your friend's mind about him. It's just taking responsibility for your own peace, setting your boundary and sticking to it.
Simple, but not easy.
Definitely not easy. So, okay, let's try and summarize the core takeaways here from the Luv Doc's advice. First, don't declare war on the friendship just because of the partner.
Right. Avoid the scorched earth approach.
Instead, the focus should be on really clear communication. What behavior is acceptable to you?
Step one. Then outline the consequences if that line is crossed.
Step two. And step three, which is maybe the hardest. Critically, you have to be willing to actually follow through, to remove yourself from the situation if that partner's disrespect continues.
Walk away from the interaction.
Yes. It really boils down to that clear, maybe courageous choice. Stepping away when disrespect happens. Recognizing you don't have to carry burdens that just aren't yours.
And this really underlines the broader point for you, the listener, doesn't it? Understanding that, yeah, some difficult friendships, some problematic people in your orbit, they might just be an inevitable part of life.
Yeah.
They're problematically unavoidable, perhaps.
I like that phrase.
The real challenge, then, isn't trying to somehow magically eliminate them from your world. It's about defining and then really rigorously enforcing your own personal boundaries to protect your well-being. your sanity even.
Yeah.
And this is where knowledge, like the stuff we talk about, actually becomes valuable, right? When you understand it. And then you can apply it to navigate the actual messiness of your own relationships. So, think about what these insights might mean for your friendships.
Okay, so let's end with a thought for you to chew on, a provocative one maybe. If loyalty means standing by your friends through their choices, where exactly is the line? The line where those choices, or maybe the people those choices bring into your life, become so detrimental, so disrespectful to you, that your own self-respect demands a different kind of support.
A support that might actually look like stepping away, not closer.
Exactly. What does it really mean to share a burden in a friendship? And when is it time to just acknowledge that some burdens, no matter how much you care about the friend, they're simply not yours to carry? Something to think about.
To read the column that spawned this podcast, go to austinchronicle.com/columns/the Luv Doc. There are probably worse things to do with your time, right?